Namaste. So today I've got a little bit of yin yoga for you. This is a cooling practice. It's very slow. It's about holding our poses. Nothing particularly strenuous or arduous. It's just coming to connect with ourselves, connect with our physical being, but on a slightly different or deeper level. Find your process, wiggle around, moving the flesh of your buttocks outwards so that you can find your sit bones, sitting nice and tall in any comfortable seat. Take your time as you find a little bit of spaciousness as we begin that settling process. Develop on that sense of settling, taking our time, just feeling your way on towards the mat, turning your gaze internally to acknowledge what's going on inside. With this internal perspective ever growing, just come and see how the breath is today, noticing the qualities of it, the peaks, the troughs, noticing where you are receiving the breath, where you send it to. Just travel with it, observing rather than judging, being the silent witness of our inhale, steady exhale. Allowing us to stay open through the mind, allowing thoughts to come in, allowing thoughts to come out, welcoming good thoughts and bad thoughts. It's all part of the practice. So welcome anything that comes into your mind, into your imagination, affecting maybe your thoughts and your feelings. Just keep welcoming. Be the guest house. Now, yin yoga is pretty easy. There are 3 principles. These principles are known as tattvas. So the first one is to hold a pose for some time. And the second one is to move. If you experience any discomfort, just back out. Unless, of course, the body invites you to go a little bit further. And the third tattva, the third principle, is just to keep perfectly still. Now, a small word about safety. As we travel through our journey together, the spine will warm up, so as we come out of poses, even though they're passive, the risk factor does go up as we start to warm ourselves internally. So being extra mindful as we dismount. So the next pose that we're going to come into is come to lift ourselves on towards all fours. So you're coming steadily on towards your hands and your knees, only when you're ready to. Wake yourself up nice and slow. Pad the knees if you need to with a cushion, a rolled up blanket, even a rolled up towel. Lovely, nice big heart opener coming your way now. So coming in towards neutral tabletop, and you're coming to place your forearm, your right forearm down at a 90-degree angle at the front edge of your mat. And we're going to slide that left hand forward, maybe placing the forehead towards the right forearm. Up to you if you want to lift up through your left elbow or relax the left forearm on towards the floor. The hips are strategically placed right on top of the kneecaps, and you'll notice that you're creating space along this fanning effect of the left ribs. So breathing in towards that place now, allowing the navel to come gently back towards the front of the spine. If you'd like to very carefully just come to engage the navel, draw the navel away from the floor, just so that we have a little bit of traction through the front side of our body, but essentially keeping yourself nice and still, nice and stable, unless of course you experience any tension, be it mental or physical. On a final few breaths, seeing if maybe you can just release that left armpit towards the ground, make a proper connection with the tops of the feet, reaching those toes backwards. Really easing in towards that breath now as we slowly relax. Preparing now to draw that left hand underneath the left shoulder, softly pushing in towards the ground to lift yourself up. Then I welcome you to come in towards any small mindful movements, just to remove any creases, any tension, be it mental or physical, before we come and touch down on the other side. So no rush. Placing your left forearm down, spread those fingers, right arm extending in front of you. Allow the head to ground. Settle and pause. stay here just for a moment or two longer as the body begins to soften. We're obviously going to move our physical being a little bit lower towards the floor when the body releases, or of course back out. That is also an option. Reverse is always possible in your practice. So you're really respecting your body's edge without creating damage, strain, or pain. As we journey now towards our final breaths, just allow the right armpit to fall. Maybe notice the vulnerabilities now of the body as it begins to open. So it's your job to acknowledge how we're going to get out of this pose. My practice is to draw the right hand arm towards the shoulder, but if you have a different way of maneuvering your body and dismounting safely, then it's your time to do so now. Once you have slowly disconnected, move the body, listen to the body's needs, its requests. And then the next pose we're going to come to is fetal position. Now you can actually do this on your back just by drawing the knees in towards the chest if the knees don't really like to close like this. So try to orangutan the arms behind you towards the toes, placing your forehead on towards the ground rather than your hairline. Now if the head doesn't come towards the ground comfortably, consider placing a pillow, a yoga block, or a rolled up towel underneath the forehead just to support the back of the neck here. Breathing steadily, allowing the back body to melt in towards the front body, allowing the front body to melt in towards the floor. If it's helpful, just give the body a little bit of a rock from side to side, or allowing the head to turn left to right, temple to temple, ear to ear. In Yin Yoga, we often use metaphors just to understand the body, understand the breath and the mind, and all of our processing. So starting off, thinking about our body as a stable mountain. Although we're not in mountain pose right now, there's a sense of stability, serene, quiet, So maybe just noticing the way that you are connected towards the floor, noticing the pressure of your body against the ground, against the mat. Just be aware of your physical being as this stable mountain slowly emerges, can be slowly felt. If you would prefer to take the knees a little bit wider, just to allow the heart to come downwards a little bit more, do so. Otherwise, stay here and allow yourself just to pause and experience this calming pose as the forehead gently touches down on the ground, almost soothing out any tension in your brow bone, in your third eye, center of innate wisdom. Journey towards the end of our pose. Notice how quickly it takes us just to bounce up. Maybe that's a welcome thing. Maybe you want to stay there for a little bit longer. So let's come to transfer ourselves on towards our bellies. Find your belly button, your heart. Just allow the hips to dance around. Lifting yourself up on towards your forearms. Spreading those fingertips. Train tracking the forearms and the elbows. So this is Sphinx pose. Forearms firmly on the floor, elbows underneath the shoulders. Just allowing your heart to lift up. If you find this difficult, you can always take the hands slightly further forward so the back bend isn't quite so intense. Allowing the head to drop can sometimes be a nice stretch through the scapula at the back of the neck, leading towards the shoulder girdle. Take it slow. Incredibly careful with the vulnerabilities of the back of the neck. It's quite a heavy weight, this 7-8 pounds of skull that rests upon our shoulders. So maybe we just take the last 10% off rather than coming in towards our complete range. Go easy here. around this lovely metaphor of a strong and stable mountain, almost plugging your pubic bone or your hip bones in towards the earth like a sucker, allowing us to root down, to rise up. Take it slow here, be mindful, keep breathing. From time to time, just scan your body, noticing if there's any tension brewing. Sometimes there might be a firmness in the glutes, so allow those to be soft. Allow your breath to be free, allow it to wander around the body here. Counter poses are really important now, so let's calm, take the spine in the opposite direction, placing the hands on towards the floor, push the hands away from the head and allow your tailbone to come down towards the heels. Breathe here, lengthen. Or wiggle around however you need to serve your body. When you're ready to move, let's come to bring the right foot forward in between the hands, coming in towards crescent moon. So coming to take the right knee right on top of the right ankle. Sitting up tall rather than slouching on the knee, think about just connecting with the knee. So we have to support ourselves. If that's too high, come down towards the floor, maybe balancing the right side of your chest on the knee, bowing the head towards the toe. So we're deepening the hip crease at the top of the right leg, being really careful not to overcook that joint, being gentle, being passive. If you need to back off at any time, think about slowly pushing in towards your right heel, extending slowly the length of your right leg. So it's almost like a hamstring stretch. Taking the weight backwards towards your left heel. Being careful with the back of the knee. Take a breath there, and then when you're ready to, come back towards the four corners of that foot, really connecting with the mat. Go easy. That counter pose is available for you at any time. But if you're comfortable, allow the groins to fall towards the support of the floor. I would encourage you to carry on listening to your body's calls and requests to go in a little bit deeper for your final breath or two, or backing out. Listen to the feedback. The body will tell you the truth. Let's welcome the end of that pose, coming to slowly draw that right foot all the way backwards. I think a nice counter pose for this is just to allow the hips to fall. Almost allowing the hips just to surrender towards the ground. Take a nice big breath there, maybe even taking your breath down towards the groins. Ease out, take it slowly. Take as much time as you need until you find the left leg. Steadiness, compassion, ease. Building now upon metaphors. So now we're coming up towards our breath. So we have the stable mountain, that's the body. And the breath we consider as the calm, still, serene, rippleless mountain lake. It's like a smooth ice rink without any tension through the breath. Just allowing it to flow steadily, hearing it, feeling it, and sensing it. Oh. ultimate pose for this practice is coming in towards bound angel, placing the feet together, having the knees wide, have a little bit of a sway from side to side so that we really deepen our awareness of both our left and our right sit bone. Once you're able to come forward, journey your way there, hinging over from your hip creases, going really easy, placing the hands wherever you feel is suitable. That might be towards the toes, maybe reaching them out in front of you, totally up to you. Go where is most comfortable.